Hello and welcome to the I Am Fearless podcast. I'm your host, Vickie, and man, am I glad that you decided to click and spend a little time with me today. So, hi. I am not going to sit up here and act like I didn't miss an episode last week and that I am not 2 days late with this episode. I'm supposed to deliver an episode to you guys every Wednesday. That was my promise that I made out loud on social media, and I've broken it. But I've said this before. I've got to be more forgiving with myself. And so life, just to be completely honest with you guys, life has been pretty tough for me personally. And it just seems like so much of what was once familiar to me is being unearthed. I mean, I've got new careers coming at me, new relationships, new concepts being planted in the place of things that I have been living by. And it's just it's a time of evolution for me, and it's complicated. It's the best way I can describe it. But I want to thank you all for listening, for reaching out to me, your prayers for me. The community that I am gaining from this podcast has just been so restorative to my spirit, and it's motivated me in more ways than I could ever express. So I really hope and pray that this podcast has served you all as much as it served me. I had planned to release this episode as a continuation of my most recent episode where I shared a few of my most significant life experiences. But before I get into that, I really just want to share where I Am Fearless podcast came from, because I don't think I told you guys. I also too want to say that this is the first time that I can recall me not setting a New Year's resolution. I set a New Year's resolution every year because I'm a very goal-oriented person. I think that, the beginning of the year is a great excuse to start new habits. But I know that my not setting one has everything to do with the series of events from this past year. 2022 started off with the murder of my aunt, and it was followed by the murder of my cousin 4 months later. And then 2 months after that, I suffered a miscarriage. Just within a matter of 6 months, I had experienced some significant losses. And just when I thought I had reached my breaking point, another loss was added to the pile, and that was with my decision to end an on and off again relationship of 5 years with the father of my 19-month-old son. The separation has been ugly. It is ugly. When that saying about when you break up with a person, how they treat you really matters. Wow. I'm seeing breakups bring out the worst in people, and I am experiencing that right now. And I'm in the midst of litigation, so I'm not going to talk about it too much, but it's ugly. So after 2022, I don't know how confident I feel in my attempt to sway the unknown with resolutions. That saying, you plan and then God plans, or God laughs at your plans. So now that I've said that, I guess my resolution, when I think about it, is to really be non-resistant to the change. I used to think that whenever people would talk about choosing the path of least resistance, that meant for you to go with what's easy, right? If it's uncomfortable, I'm just going to say no to it. If it doesn't feel good, I'm just going to say no to it. If it scares me, I'm just going to say no. If it does this, I'm just going to say no. What I'm learning is, and what, because 2022 has been full of lessons, and I am kind of a hardhead, so I get it. I get it, God, but please no more, like, because I'm tired. But one thing that I'm learning, and probably my most significant lesson that I've learned from 2022, is that the path of least resistance is not necessarily you choosing what's easiest or what's most convenient. It is you not fighting what's happening. It's learning to stand and sit with discomfort, because I feel that in my doing so, I have expanded, I've grown, parts of me have come out that I never knew were there. I never gave them an opportunity to be exposed because I would always react to certain situations in the same predictable way. And now that I am challenging myself by staying centered, staying grounded, staying focused, transmuting whatever energy that I have into something positive, I am learning that's growth. I joke about growth and how uncomfortable it is and how I don't like it, and I still don't like it, but I am growing, and I'm evolving, and even though the lessons are difficult and painful at times, I know that they are for my overall good. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I'd love to hear about you guys' New Year's resolutions, what type of stuff that you came up with. But here's me sharing mine with you. And yeah, and also too, I just want to tell you guys just a couple of quick plans about I Am Fearless and what we have coming up here. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about whatever mess that I have going on. It's onwards and upwards. And I missed you guys. I missed being in the studio. I missed being on camera, strangely enough, because I initially did not like that. I wanted to be in the background. I did not want to be on camera, but I do miss and enjoy this space and this opportunity to do this. So anyways, some of the plans that we have coming up for I Am Fearless, we're going to kick off January with a self-love, self-care type of month. I have an amazing list of guests coming up for y'all in January, all right? I've got somebody that's going to talk about financial wellness, mental health, okay? I've got somebody talking about womb care, all right? So it's all about you. I want you to be financially fit. I want you to be mentally fit. I want you to be spiritually fed. I also have some guests coming on. I've recorded some episodes recently with some guests where we talk about spirituality and God and Jesus, and it's been some very enriching conversations. And as I said, this podcast has served me so much, so I'm just honored to be able to present you guys with the people that I've met so far. Also, I'm going to do a little bonus episode for you guys. It's featuring Jalen Timms. He is a new podcaster, and he's also my little cousin. I am so honored to be able to help him on his path and his journey, and so I'll be helping him out with this podcast. So I'm actually going to do a featured episode with him, just with him talking about his podcast, and it's really fun, you guys. It's me, my two younger cousins, they're 19, 20 years old, and my cousin who's my age, and we're grown women. Then we'll just leave that at that age. We're the age of grown. But I'm really excited for you guys to see that. So I'll be releasing that soon. A lot of great things coming up. A lot of great things. As tough as things get, I'm like, man, God just keeps blessing me with more. There's always more to look forward to. That's why we're always looking forward to the next day, because we know something's good is going to come to us. We're just so sure that, God is going to provide all the basics, but then also bless us with the bonus of goodness and whatever that may look like to you. So anyways, I'm going to keep this episode short, sweet, simple, because homegirl has had a time. Okay, I've had a time. I need a break. I need to breathe. I don't know where that came from. But anyways, thank you so much for tuning in. And this is Vickie, encouraging you to love everything, everyone, and most importantly, yourself. And we'll see you next Wednesday. Thanks and take care.